Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to those of you who are joining us here in Tianjin, and a very warm welcome to those of you who are joining us online. My name is Joseph Fowler, and I'm the head of Arts and Culture at the World Economic Forum, and it's a great pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon to this exciting Beta Zone session. Our session this afternoon will be divided into two parts. Our first part of our session, we will deep dive into the incredibly creative world of founder and artistic director of the immersive kind, Kadeen James. And in the second half of our session, she will be joined by multidisciplinary artist, CEO and founder of Fictionera, Emi Kusano. Before we start the session, please take a moment to check that your mobile phones are switched to silent to ensure we don't disturb our participants and our speakers during the session. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the session.
Hello and welcome. I'm Kadeen James, a creator, innovator, and storyteller working at the intersection of technology, art, and fashion. In this space, I explore the future, from digital fashion to immersive experiences, AI creativity, and extended realities. But today, you won't just meet the digital me. Now let me introduce you to the person behind the avatar, Kadeen James, live and in person.
Well, thank you. What an honor and a thrill to be here at the World Economic Forum as part of the New Champions. What a thrill to be part of this curated experience with some of the best artists from all over the world. Thank you so much to Joseph Fowler for this incredible opportunity to be here in China. I believe that was a world first, actually, with an AI agent, a version of me, speaking in my own voice for the first time here at the forum. So I'd like to give her a round of applause. So my name's Kadeen James. I'm the CEO and founder of The Immersive Kind, which is an extended reality studio. And my work sits at the intersection of AI, of art, of digital fashion, and immersive storytelling. And my journey's been a really interesting one. I'm from London. I went to art school. I was very privileged to go and work in the music industry, and also to go and work in the fields of XR and frontier technology, which I like to call XR, VR, AR, metaverse, and virtual production. I've worked at some of the biggest advertising agencies in the world, and I set up my own studio, The Immersive Kind, 6 years ago now, where I've been lecturing. I also lecture on immersive storytelling at UCL and at the Royal College of Art in London. I'm also one of the top 100 women working in UK technology, and I sit on the Synthetics Being Advisory Board with Interpol. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of my art practice today and how I'm creating and using new and emerging technologies to create digital twins, avatars, and these virtual characters that I'm bringing to life. And digital identity is at the core of my art practice. And we're living at a time where we have all of these incredible tools and applications. And when you think back to when we were painting in caves, and now when we have all of these incredible tools such as Midjourney and Vero, and I'm using all of these tools and applications as part of my world building and as part of the stories that I'm able to tell, and often putting myself at the front of the world or at the front of the production. These are some images of me. One when I was a child. This is at 18 months. This is me as a young teenager. And this is me as a young adult. This is a triptych that I created. Now, I created this because I wanted to look back on my past, but also use technology as a way to reimagine myself in the future. So this is a triptych series that I've produced using style GANs, working with the team at NVIDIA. I also want to touch on tech as a creative medium. Now, I'm using multiple 3D scans. I've got many versions that we've captured with Synthesia AI, We've also captured myself with the Veronica scanner, which is a huge photogrammetry rig, and then taking that 3D data of me and thinking about new ways that I could use that data, new ways that I could bring these experiences of myself to life, exploring the future of portraiture, and often putting myself in these fantastical costumes and wearing hair and makeup in ways that I would never wear in the real world. So really using these tools to explore identity, your digital self, your online persona, and how we exist in this world, and how we show up, and these versions of me that we've brought to life as part of these productions that explore AI-generated fashion, AI-generated hair. Think about the future of costumes. Think about being able to wear costumes from movies. You know, I've got characters that I'm appearing in an anime film, or I'm appearing in an action movie, and all of this has been brought to life using generative tools and artificial intelligence. Now, I also want to talk to you about Crypto Fashion Week. I was involved at Crypto Fashion Week from the very start. I've appeared at all of the digital fashion weeks that have happened all over the world. This is a 3D avatar of me, or another version of me, that's been styled and dressed by the fashion designer Ivan Svanberg. And we're exploring this theme around virtual persona and makeup, and wearing these incredible garments that have been brought to life and stimulated through immersion. And this was the first appearance of this particular piece that debuted at the world's first Crypto Fashion Week. I also wanted to share with you my digital twins. We have many of those. She appears through multiple lenses and is often much younger. But it's really, you know, I guess the core point I wanted to make around digital identity and this opportunity to explore, you know, your creative process and your imagination, and bringing these productions to life that are all, you know, at the center of art and culture and world-building. I also wanted to reference some of the environments that I've been building in worlds like spatial. I also build experiences in Decentraland. I've got a 60,000 square foot virtual venue where I bring my students in, they dress up as avatars, they put on digital garments, and they come in and experience these fantastical worlds, often for the first time as avatars. And doing that in virtual reality, opening up new ways of thinking about how we explore art, how we explore culture, and the opportunity to ignite your imagination. This video here is another 3D scan of my face that we've captured, again using Midjourney, and exploring these digital layers of oneself, and exploring this opportunity to look at portraiture through the lens of tech and art. There's also a big AI Fashion Week that took place in New York, where we showcased a version of me wearing multiple looks at one time. At the click of a button, I can change the costume that I'm wearing. I can change my eyeliner. I can change my lipstick, my makeup. And these tools are really allowing me to express myself and experience fashion and my love for dressing up in such a powerful way. I also wanted to share with you a series of images that we've created for Page magazine, which is a magazine that I write for. We wanted to explore the conversation around digital twin, around hair, and around this opportunity to explore wardrobes and costumes. And these have all been created, again, using Midjourney, but with photographs of me that we've taken into the Midjourney tool. And then I also wanted to touch on the work that I'm doing, particularly in video games. I've built so many worlds in the metaverse, and I've actually lost track of the number of avatars that I have now. So there's multiple versions of me, but what I've done specifically for the forum, and knowing that I was coming to China, was create a game in Fortnite to celebrate the Spring Festival. So we've created the Great Wall. We've also built these 3D garments, costumes or fashion skins. So you can come in, put the skin on, and tour the Great Wall of China. And I'm really interested in the next generation being able to explore art and culture inside the metaverse and inside video games. So this is live now, and it's in Fortnite, and you can actually 3D print these costumes. So I'm really interested in how can we take the physical object also out into the world. So you could actually wear these fashion skins in the real world. So these are the fashion skins that we've created for Fang, and this is my avatar wearing those skins. I'm also going to share with you a very futuristic world that I've just built. This was for a Metaverse Fashion Week. Has anybody been to Metaverse Fashion Week? Nobody's been? Okay. You need to go. Please come to the next one. This is developed with pixel streaming. You can come in from any device, from any location, from anywhere around the world, and experience incredible costumes from cultural institutions from all over the world that I've worked with to digitize those pieces and open up to many more people, and taking them out of the constraints of the physical exhibition spaces where these pieces often live. So working with the V&A, working with a number of institutions and schools, we built the Legacy of Tomorrow. And I'm going to share this video with you so that you can see what we did.
On March 29th, people around the globe gathered to experience a new chapter of the Metaverse Fashion Week. Over Decentraland, Spatial, and our new platform, Soil. In this instance, joining an otherworldly, photorealistic environment. Legacy of Tomorrow is a visionary, immersive experience. Created with the Unreal game engine, this experience features high-resolution pixel streaming, ensuring seamless gameplay and an outstanding amount of details of the garments. The bright landscape acts as a frame, focusing the attention on the garments. Celebrating cultural heritage and modern fashion in a virtual space. A fully integrated chat system and a variety of animated gestures help the avatars to interact and communicate with each other during the show. Legacy of Tomorrow isn't only an ultimate fashion experience featuring groundbreaking graphics and sound design, but also a visionary glimpse into the future of the immersive experience.
So that was the Legacy of Tomorrow. It is live still, so when you do have a chance, I would invite you all to go in, get your avatar, get yourself styled, and come in and experience this Unreal production that has been created with Unreal Engine. I'm now going to invite my dear friend, Emmy, to join me.
Thank you.
Who I absolutely adore, and we're going to have a little conversation about both of our work and how we're using all of these new tools and applications to create fashion, digital art, and immersive experiences. Emmy, I'm a big fan of your work, and what an honor and a thrill to get this chance to come out to China and share our work together and everything that we've been doing in this space.
Thank you so much for the beautiful presentation. I got so much inspiration. I always dream about countless different versions of myself, like success as an astronaut, entrepreneur, or artist, or like so many things. But in your world, I think it's possible. So it was very inspiring. As you can see from the backdrop showing my recent project, and I feel very connected to your work. And I am also the artist collaborating with AI, and I make a photography and a video through AI, and I explore cultural memory and nostalgia from Japanese society. And I'm also interested in the theme of identity, how people can change, and how our relationship between technology is evolving. So I'm particularly interested in how AI can reveal and reconstruct personal, and I share the historical histories in a way both feel authentic and speculative.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I would like to also congratulate you on all of the incredible work that you're doing in this space. And I feel like we're kindred spirits. So I think, for me, using these tools and applications, particularly when I'm working with students or lecturing, is about making them accessible. And I've been running workshops in London with Innovate UK and with Bridge AI, which is looking at the digital skills gap, particularly for the creative industries, and giving first-hand workshops around how to use these new tools and applications, and making sure that the students are not scared to use these tools and applications, because the technology is moving at such a fast pace. Yes. And I think as an artist and as an educator, I feel that I want to encourage people to use these tools. But I'm also mindful of the role that AI is going to have on the future of work and also on the future of creativity. So picking up these tools, the technologies of our time, in order to create and make and experience producing artwork is very much centered to the work that I'm doing, particularly across academia. And for you?
Yeah, I was not tech savvy, to be honest. I was really bad at programming. In the university, my programming class was mandatory, but in a programming, if you make one mistake, like one letter mistake, it doesn't work. And I am very hyper-realistic ADHD nature, and I cannot sit still. So, but AI, I can program with natural language. I can program with English or even Japanese. And if I made a mistake, I'm just asking ChatGPT, why, can you optimize this prompt? And okay, and these conversation process makes me very impossible things possible. So I see AI tool as a collaborator and at the same time tool. So it's really interesting because before AI, I used to be a photographer and a musician. And photography is like a collaboration with model, and also I choose the lighting, and there's so many rooms to be creative. And also as a musician, I collaborate with music video director and also to expand my world. So it's like working with someone, because there's some unexpected result come out, but it's tool at the same time because they're really patient. They never complain about me. So yeah. It's such an empowering tool. I feel so different.
Yeah, I agree, and I echo those sentiments. And I like you, I also feel that these tools are creative companions. And going back to when we were using paintbrushes or painting in VR, I've done a lot of worlds that we've built using Tilt Brush, and then bringing that 3D data into Unreal Engine or into Unity, and now also being able to create with Midjourney, and Midjourney
Midjourney just opening up a whole new world for us to play and experiment with. And, you know, thinking about what Google has just released with Vero, we touched on this when we were at dinner. I think these tools are going to unleash a whole new wave of creativity and will become a new way for artists to create and make in a way that not so long ago would have been completely unimaginable. And I embrace that and I celebrate that. And like you, I feel that these tools are allowing artists to have a dialogue, right, in a really new way. I mean, for example, I've got a digital twin of myself. I've been very fortunate to work with Synthesia AI. We did a shoot of me. She can show up in any location from anywhere around the world. She can speak 120 languages. I've also got a bot that we've built with DID, who I've been working very closely with, where we can have a real-time conversation and ask questions in real time, and also change the artwork, you know, and thinking about, you know, the future to tell stories in this way, and that these tools become part of this collaboration, but also part of a suite of resources that can be used in order to produce next level worlds and next level experiences. I've just come back from speaking a big gaming convention where there is a non-playable character of me that we've built specifically that is inside the game, and the audience can come in and ask me questions, and that's from anywhere around the world, from any device. And I feel like we're just at the tip of it at the moment. We're at this new industrial revolution, and there's this next layer that is going to come with the artists that are picking up these tools and applications and making magic. Yeah. You know, I've been at AI Fashion Week. I've also been producing a lot for Metaverse Fashion Week, and I'm really interested in ways that, you know, these tools are going to allow us to bring collections to life from the past. You know, Vogue, I've been working with in London. We've just done a massive production where, you know, a lot of the designers' collections are being brought back to life from the archives. Can you imagine the archival pieces and the opportunity that AI is going to unleash for future generations and new audiences to be able to experience these artworks? And I feel
this
that
is another version of me.
This is incredible as well.
Yeah.
And you know, back to your this incredible piece. Please tell me a bit more about this and how you created it, Emmy.
Yes, I always make AI generated self-portrait. It started with my WWD cover commission, WWD Japan. That was like first AI generated cover in Japan. And I actually generated different person at first, but magazine concerned about the intellectual property, and I decided to using my model itself. And I felt so weird. My face is on the cover, but it looks like me, but it doesn't look like me. So I started exploring my self-portrait series, and yeah, it's like a self-study, and yeah, it feels so different, and I use my self-res material. So it's more like an approach of the Cindy Sherman does, but instead, like I don't have a memory to create this. So you're also exploring so many different identities of yourself, and I'm really interested in your ideas of decentering the human. Could you explain more about this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, you know, as, you know, part of my practice has always been about putting myself in the work and exploring with all of these new tools and applications in a similar way to yourself. And decentering the human, to me, is about dismantling and putting back together and rebuilding and reimagining and constantly evolving. And this is a big, you know, part of being able to tell stories and communicate and picking up everything that is happening and absorbing it in order to push or to produce something that I wouldn't have thought of creating had it not been for these new tools. I had a question for you, and it was particularly around, how you're embedding culture in your work. I know that you're from Japan, and can you just expand a bit more on this?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I actually reference so many like Japanese pop culture, and it's very important I start with like deep research, but main focus is pop culture. So many work naturally includes like some critics. So it's very beautiful, but there's a duality. I mainly draw something from 1980s Japanese, when the Japanese was like big and economic. So it's a bubble era. I recreate that pop culture with my prompt, and one of the interesting challenges is that when I work with large language model, I use mostly trained from Western perspective. So and Japanese subculture can be sometimes too niche and it's very specific. Like when I want to replicate something from 1980s, like there's only like 2 years the fashion trend was there. But so I intentionally choose like related word from mainstream culture, like American culture, and represent Japanese ideas. So in a different word, I'm hacking like English-based AI into to create Japanese pop culture. So yeah, it's very stimulating, and these are actually inspired by Japanese wood painting. So it's like mixing all the public images representing like myth from all over the world, and mixing together and mixing again on a Config UI, the tool. So yeah, it's really important not to lose the respect. But
of course.
Yeah.
And tell me a bit more about, IP, and, there's been a lot of conversations that I've been involved in recently, particularly around, ownership and rights of images. What are your thoughts on this, and how can we maintain it so that artists like us get to monetize the work and also are able to own the artworks as part of the work that we produce?
Yeah, that's a good question. And do you get backlash sometime? Backlash from like using AI?
I think
AI haters.
We touched on this briefly when we were at dinner, but I think that the new tools are opening up this conversation, and one that we need to be mindful of as artists. And I think we haven't figured that bit out yet. So it's an ongoing conversation that is taking place, and I think that we need tech companies and the artists, lawmakers to come together in order to figure that part out, especially around rights and IP.
Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, I got some time backlash when I got viral. There's some people said, "Oh, you're a thief. Like AI generated is so easy," but it's actually there's so much process and also so many misconceptions about how AI generated images work, and yeah, I still don't have an answer for.
We're figuring it out. Can you tell me more about these these pieces, which is stunning, by the way?
Yeah. So this is actually my first debut collection as an AI artist. So it's called Neural Fad. I recreate imaginary Tokyo street culture. So it's actually based on a real fashion trend that was existed in 1970s and 60s, and I was so nerd about. So I was born in 1990s, and I spent my teenager in 2000s were full of informations, and also there's no such a big trend in the fashion anymore. So it's like everything is so fast. So I just really admire those like local, like very specific fashion, and I try to recreate with my prompting. Yeah.
These are fantastic. And tell me what your hopes are for the future with creativity and machines.
I think the aesthetic is going to be democratized, so people can create so many different things very easily. But I think our strength is we are human. Our life is limited. Maybe we live forever, but we talk about like we want to live, like my alter ego is going to be live forever. But
Yes.
I think like the narrative behind a machine, like narrative of the humans, is very important than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a really important message to reflect on as we wrap, that it's human beings that are behind the technology and not the other way around. So it's been really exciting getting to share this stage with you, and what an honor to be part of this incredible conversation. Thank you all for coming to this talk. And
Please try AI too when you go home.
And I'm going to be around, and Emmy and I will be around if you want to come and speak with us. And again, thank you so much to Joseph Fowler and all of the team at the World Economic Forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much.